Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Paranormal Question Day. We'll be right back right after a short intro.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Paranormal Question of the Day. We do live podcasts with live guests, live paranormal investigations as well. We do product reviews, so sit back, enjoy the channel, get popcorn, get a soda, and I'll see you soon.
And we are back. So, after a hot 5 minutes of talking about stuff,
15.
15, yes.
It felt like 5, but it was actually 15 minutes.
And expressing a lot of discomfort today. So,
There's a lot of things in the paranormal field that don't need to be in the paranormal field.
Yes.
And it's got nothing to do with the paranormal. It's the people.
Yes.
There are people in the paranormal field that's what makes the paranormal field kind of suck.
Yes, absolutely. When you get constantly screwed over, betrayed, all sorts of that shit, it's like,
right?
What's the fucking point of being in there?
Well, and it's like, think of the paranormal as your bubble, right? This is your ecosystem.
Yeah.
When you get a bad spot in your ecosystem, like it affects everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you're never going to get back to that whole bubble again.
Right. Exactly.
So
it takes a while to recover when shit like stuff goes down like it does.
It does. It does.
Your whole world gets thrown under the wraps. Hey, Denise.
Hi, Denise. What's going on, Michael?
Hey, Michael.
And I feel like, that's a situation where it's like if the shoe fits, that could be anything. Anything. Yeah. It could be, I had a bad investigation because somebody showed up drunk. Or like at one of those public shows, the public events.
Yeah.
Someone came from dinner trashed
and
Laura. Just made it horrible the whole time. Like that's the kind of stuff where it's like it's not the ghosts, it's not the location, it's the people.
Yeah.
And
they turn this whole
drama and
they turn this thing into a freaking dating service.
A dating service or some kind of weird not dating but still getting weird benefits situation.
Yeah.
I've heard lots of stories about that, and it's like,
oh yeah. Oh, well, hopefully you have a good night at work, Laura.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. here, so
yeah.
Night job? Well, she said good morning, so maybe she's on the other side of the world.
No, I think she's in Phoenix.
Oh, well, that's not that different.
No.
Cat.
Hey, Laura. Miss Cat.
Miss Cat. Cat's in my tribe.
Meow. Meow. Welcome.
She works nights, 11
yes.
to 7. Ugh. I did that. Except I did 10 to 6. And yikes.
That's sucky.
I actually liked it a lot because I got to do things like for the paranormal because I'm already used to being up so late.
Yeah.
And I was a manager of a gym. So once you get done cleaning and doing all the stuff at 3 a.m., there's nothing to do.
Right.
So you pop your laptop up and you go over evidence.
Right.
It actually worked out really well. Or you start working on your book or whatever.
Yeah.
And now now I stay up late because I choose to because I do this stuff. Podcasts or conferences and workshops, but
you get used to it.
You do. It's actually nice because I can go to sleep at midnight and get up at 7 o'clock a.m. and then just get right back to work again. Or don't. Yeah. I don't. Nothing saying I have to because my deadlines are like 6 months out.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not bad.
No. Bad. Like for example, I just got to the point in a book I'm writing where I have beta readers now.
Oh.
So the manuscript is, let's say, 90% done. Mm-hmm. And I, for the life of me, cannot think of anything else I should add. So you send it out to beta readers in the paranormal, people you trust and people that are interested, and they read it, and then they give feedback on things that you might have missed or forgot or, didn't explain very well. Right. And, and then in exchange for that, I'm mailing them a signed copy of the book when it's out.
Right.
And then when it's out, then they can talk about it. But right now they can't talk about it because there's an NDA.
Oh yeah, and those NDAs are special, aren't they?
They are. They are. Because you don't want to ruin the surprise of the book. Like
Right.
nobody knows yet. So let's keep it that way and let them enjoy it. But like right now, that's doing its own process. I'm completely detached from that. They have to read the 200 some pages
Right.
and then give me feedback. It might take a week, it might take 3 weeks.
Mm.
What do I now I have to find something to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
right now I'm prepping for Michigan Paracon. That's what I'm doing. But
That'll be a fun one. I've never been there yet. One of these
well,
years I'll go.
no, you won't. This is the last one.
Really?
This is the last one. Yep.
Wow.
I think it was announced a month or so ago. I believe one of the 2 organizers is wrapping up. I imagine, because it is a corporation,
Mm-hmm.
someone is going to pick it up and then carry it over.
Okay.
Yes, Kat will be there, Jamie Lynn will be there, Diet will be there. I'm somewhere set up around Dave Schrader. I just don't know where yet. There's no map that we have.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, this is the final one. And my thought on that is this: is if this is the final one, that means more people are going to come than usual because they want to get in and get the last one.
Go out with a bang.
Go out with a bang. But for vendors like me, that means potentially more people to buy my stuff.
Yeah.
Please buy my books. They're heavy.
Yeah.
I don't want to take them home. You take my books home.
I hear you. I hear you. So right off the bat, before we get started, I do want to address something that's been cooking in my brain for the last couple days. Just for those of you that know that I was part of the museum, the Worcester County Historical Museum in Watoma. Well, guess what, folks? I'm not there anymore. I got fucked over. So I'm out of the job there, and honestly, it's not worth going there. So, other than that, let's carry on. So, Larry?
Yeah.
What is new with you?
Well, like I said, I'm going to the Michigan Paracon. I leave Wednesday, and it's like an 8-hour drive, so I'll be gone on the car almost all day. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I believe is like some big karaoke thing, which I assume is going to be even bigger now. And then I drive home for 8 hours on Monday.
Hey, Chris.
So that's my big new thing. Like I mentioned before, hey Chris, I'm also in the close to end stages of my new book, doing the beta read. He had his first trip to Edinburgh a couple weeks ago. I did, and that was awesome. I had a great time, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming back. I really want to explore that building more when there's less groups. It was a paid event, so there was probably at least 20 to 25 people in the building, and that splits all the spirits up.
It gets hard.
Like they want to talk to over here, but I'm like, hey, somebody come talk to me. I can't see you. I'm assuming you're here. They may or may
Right.
not, because they're talking to that group over there. So I'm looking forward to just being a small group. So all the spirits have to come to me to talk.
Yep.
And it's a pretty cool place. So I'm really
Yes, it is. I've been there once.
Yeah, I can say it's on my list now. I put my card on the wall, so I'm officially recognized there because I have a card there. But
I have cards, so I have to get there again.
yeah, absolutely. You have to join the wall, the corkboard. Other than that, I've got a big doc in the works right now with Neil Gibbons from Graveside Paranormal. We're doing a documentary on the Roth House, which if you don't recognize it, it's also called the Watsika Wonder House.
Oh, do tell. Do explain.
So have you heard of it?
Nope, never have.
Okay. We're talking, a small town in the south side of Chicago. Small population. And in the mid 1800s, this young girl, about how old was she? She's a teenager. I can't remember exactly how old. She was having these weird fits, epileptic fits and all this weird stuff happening to her. And they sent her off to an institution, and just nothing really ever got better. And then she was exhibiting all this weird behavior that people, now would be like, oh, there's something mentally wrong with her. But back then, you think they're possessed or something. Well, unfortunately, Mary Roth, the young girl, ends up passing away and dying. It's not really said if she died in the house or if she died in the institution, but we believe she died in the house because there are stories of her being in the house after she was institutionalized. So
Interesting.
that's my opinion. And then a short time later, approximately a decade or so, this young woman, her name was oh crap, what was her name? It's a weird one. Lorancy Venom. Lorancy Venom. She starts exhibiting the same symptoms. Weird, weird fits and body movements and just talking in weird languages and stuff. So out of nowhere, Lorancy Venom gets possessed by the spirit of Mary Roth. And Asa Roth, who's her father, is a devout spiritualist, just during the spiritualist movement, and he brings Lorancy to the Roth house. And because he recognizes that's my daughter in there. She only knows things that Mary Roth could have known. And for approximately 100 days, Mary Roth possessed the body of Lorancy Venom. And it was said that Lorancy's soul went up to heaven to be healed by the angels.
Yep.
And when Lorancy came back, Mary Roth had left, and whatever ailment she had was gone. She lived to be a real old age, had a ton of kids, a ton of grandkids, and never had any issues again.
Wow.
It is the first documented spiritual possession in the country.
Jeez.
Right here in south side of Chicago. So because Asa was a devout spiritualist, for them, seances were a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have investigations throughout the house all day for this event on October 26th. It's called Seance at the Roth House. People are gonna rotate through with investigators. My friends Nat and Elliot are leading investigations. Um, what is the show called? It's Bob After Dark, I believe, is a podcast that he runs. Bob is going to be leading investigations, and then we have Mr. Dave Schrader himself leading investigations. Now,
Interesting.
not all of them because he has to give a talk and do a couple other things, but he's going to be
Yeah.
leading investigations. And then at approximately 7:30, my really good friend Diet is a really great psychic medium.
Yep.
He's going to be doing a seance on the grounds with approximately 200 or more people from the event, channeling all this energy into the center with her and 10 VIPs that are not only going to be hands held with Diet doing the whole thing, but they're the focus of the seance for the documentary we're filming. So they're
Wow.
going to have a camera right here in their face, and then anything they say and do is going to be in the doc.
Phew.
And then everybody else outside of that, I'm going to be roaming with my camera, and there's going to be some B-roll of people out there too.
Wicked.
And then after the seance, which I don't know much about seances, I'm assuming it's going to be about an hour, give or take, right? That sounds about right. After that, then there's more investigations of the house. And we're going to see, did all that energy that we were pooling up into Diet, into the environment, did all that energy from those people, did that affect the house?
Oh.
So, we've got the baseline that me and Diet and Neil did in July, mini investigation. We'll have the investigations throughout the day early on. And then during the seance, the security cameras are still running. So if stuff starts moving or noises are heard, we're still going to hear that in the doc. And then the rest of the night is investigations after the seance, and we're going to see, did things spike up? Is stuff stronger now? And then again, that's the investigators and Dave Schrader leading those groups throughout the night. My part after that splits off because what I'm doing is I have a 10 by 10 tent set up for testimonials. So people can come in from the seance and be like, this is what I thought, this is what I experienced, this is what I felt. And then those people can then be in the documentary as well.
Wow. That's gonna be cool.
I'm so excited. It's something that I've never done before.
And at 200 people during a seance, that's insane.
200 or more. There could be more. We're
I just wonder how that would go, though. I mean, how much with all the different kind of energies, like over under holding hands?
No clue. No clue. I leave all the spiritual side to Diet. She knows what she's doing, and she doesn't seem worried about it. So that sounds good to me. But
Better have a
I'm more
drink ready
worried
for her.
about right. I'm more worried about how we're gonna film it because it's gonna be dark. October, 7:30ish. It's gonna get dark real fast. So
Yeah.
how are we gonna add light to the scene? How are we gonna, keep things in focus? How are we gonna do this and that? That's my job. I got to worry about that. But
I
I
might have
guess
an
I got
idea for you.
I got some cool ideas too. And I can say this idea because I'm pretty sure we're gonna use it. Um, Tiki torches.
Oh,
Tiki
that
torches replaces the candle element of seances. Now we can still have the candles on the table, obviously, but
right?
everyone else, you set up tiki torches, so now their faces are lit, and you still get that rolling fire vibe in the atmosphere, like you would with a candle. And
Yeah.
then imagine all this energy, and all of a sudden, all the flames just do this and point towards Diet. Like that would be wild. I'd love that. I'd just lose it. But
Laura. So the Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. I have never been there. I
nope.
wish I could go there.
Yep.
But
I've never been there either. I'm just on my paranormal journey now. And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I'm just now expanding out of the Midwest.
right.
So, and technically Edinburgh Manor is still in the Midwest, but I'm gonna count
Hey,
it
Carmen.
because it's my journey.
Right.
Mr. Robert White from Down Under. Hello,
Hi,
sir.
Robert.
Hello,
Welcome.
sir. Heard the story, very interesting. Yeah. And I tell it really badly. So hi
Hey,
Jenny.
Jenny.
If you had Neil on, he could tell the story way better than I could.
Ah. Well, I'll have to maybe work something out on that one.
So
Bonfire.
a bonfire would not work.
No.
Speaking of the man
Neil.
Neil,
Hey, Mr. Neil.
the
How
man, the
you
myth, the
doing?
legend, he would tell the story way better than I could. But so a bonfire wouldn't work. Hi, Ronald, because
Hey,
there'd be
Ronald.
too much light because
Okay.
it's so big and so bright.
Mm-hmm.
All that light would then wash out. Like you would get white spots on people's faces because it's just too much light.
Right, right.
Whereas tiki torches, they're so low and they spread still a good distance.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get those shadowy looks on people's faces without
Right.
blowing up the whites.
That'd be nice. Because I'm sure you probably don't want like, black and white for all that, night
Oh, it'll be
vision.
color. It'll be color.
Yeah.
For what Diet and the table are doing, it's gonna depend on how much light is on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't put a whole bunch of candles underneath cameras because
Right.
they're gonna get hot and bad things happen to cameras when they get hot. So if we put a few up, it might be able to work, or maybe do some those little tiny tea lights.
Right.
Those sit pretty low to the table. That might not be a huge deal, but we'll just have to see. I might have to do the table in IR. I'm not entirely sure yet.
Interesting.
Plus, it'll be dark and nighttime, so the IR would be helpful too. But we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see.
Yeah. I just learned actually that the Zoom Q2Ns, you can remove the lens and have night vision on them.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Talk to if you know Bobby Thomas.
No.
Okay,
No.
so get a hold of Bobby Thomas from Dimensional Encounters Paranormal, and he can let you know how those work. But they're small cameras, but they also have a full-on microphone on top of it, studio grade.
Okay.
I'll send you a link on those on Amazon.
Yeah. Send me a link. I'd check it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm currently in the process of also making a new show.
Okay.
Expedition Entity ended in January because Dan retired from the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's thriving, so kudos to him. He definitely made the right decision.
Yeah.
But you can't do the show without the other show creator and the host of the show. It changes too much. The magic is gone.
Right.
And Dan was a huge part of that magic. You
Mm-hmm.
need on-screen charisma to be entertaining to people. And oh
Right.
boy, was he charismatic. And so is Jenny Coles. And Steve and I were a little bit more monotone and gruff, but that's okay. So since January, I've been tossing around ideas for a new show, and now that the things with this doc are getting to a good point to where I don't have to babysit it every day. I'm working on the interviews. That time consuming. It's very time consuming. We did a first impression with Diet, so her first walkthrough was all recorded. Everything that she said, we have on film. And then we did a car segment where she drove up to the location for the first time, and then we're getting what she says as she approaches. All of it is very much connected to the history of the building. It's freaking fantastic.
Wow.
But once I get through that stuff, like the doc is done until we film again. So I've been working on this other show, and I think it's getting to the point now where soonish there might be an announcement.
Ooh. Do you know if it's going to be on Paraflix or?
As of right now, I don't know anything about where it's going to go. Usually
Okay.
a network like Paraflix, they want to see something first.
Yeah.
Like I have to have some kind of a pilot or a proof of concept. So I'm at the point now where the concept is sound. There's a couple people that I really trust, and I talked it through them, and they're just like, yes, you need to do this show. Sweet, cool. So now I just got to buy the equipment and get everything to where I can produce the show with what I have, and then just go out and do it.
Yeah.
And luckily, I have so many friends in the paranormal that make this possible. And I'm talking investigators and psychic mediums, and podcasters and all these people that just make this kind of thing possible. So in preparation for the show, I know I'm probably gonna start with a pilot just to make sure it gets picked up. And then if it does get picked up, Paraflix or Amazon Prime, whatever it goes, Tubi. I think I still want to keep a 6-episode schedule for the year.
Right.
It's about a half of a regular season, but you still get a lot of limited series that are 3 to 6 episodes.
Correct.
So, if I aim for 3 and wind up with 6, that'd be really cool, but I have to find 6 other people or crews cast for 6 shows then. So I've been reaching out to friends and setting things up, and I think if the 3 that I have planned are gonna be great, if I can get to 6, it's gonna be freaking fantastic.
Excellent.
So the few people that I've reached out to, they're ecstatic. I know they've got some fantastic skills in the paranormal, and a lot of them are very charismatic. You need charisma. You need to be able to explain things the right way that people can grasp onto it.
Right.
And it's important, and it's a skill that podcasters have.
Yeah.
Because if you're just sitting here like this, talking the entire time, this is not a very engaging show. My voice is really like relaxing. It might lull somebody to sleep, but that isn't exactly what you want for a podcast.
Well, we can talk like this too,
Go do the other one.
This ain't any better, but we could do this too.
We could do this too. See, we're like twinning right now. Twinning. Mr. Ed Levin, how's it going? Nick, I saw you come in, but I didn't say anything. I'm sorry. Hi, Nick. Ed's excited. and then there's Kat. There's Kat.
Kat. And she's on the YouTube channel. Yay! I got someone on the YouTube channel.
Woo! Kat is great.
Yeah.
So
I got
a lot of really cool stuff in the works, man. Like the early 2024 was a hassle, but the second half of 2024, I think, is my time to shine.
Right.
I think for one, it's Leo season, and I'm a Leo. This is my season. And I have to be strong enough to get through the Mercury retrograde to have it not affect me. Be like, no, screw you. I'm a Leo. This is my time. And then after that, it's spooky season, and it's still a great time.
Fire up those engines.
That's right. And starting from this weekend coming up, Michigan Paracon, every weekend until the end of November, I'm at events.
Wow. You're a busy
every
guy.
weekend. And then also on top of that, I've been working with Mr. Bill Walter. You know who Bill is.
Yep.
And I am doing a short narrative at Broadhead. So on top
Very
of
nice.
everything else that I'm doing, I'm also shooting a narrative film. Oh yes, this is the Spire hat. What? There we go. Stop it. Spire hat. This is Ed's team, Spire.
Very nice. Very nice.
I like when people give me hats because I can wear a hat anywhere.
Right.
Like a t-shirt, like this material starts like flaking off after a while, especially if you make them in like squad locker or something. It peels off. And then all sorts of stuff makes it hard to wear a t-shirt. I could wear this hat. Actually, I think I've had this hat for 2 years now. I could wear this hat for forever, as long as I don't ruin
it. Just don't sweat so much.
Just don't sweat so much. Hand wash it, which is what I do for most of my hats. I hand wash.
Yeah.
And then let it air dry. Never put it in the dryer, because then you get the bill that looks like this and it'll never go back.
Hey, lefty, how's it going?
if you have hat frames, a hat frame's wonderful too.
Yeah, I used to have those every once in a while, but I decided not to do that anymore. Once they're done, they're done.
Trucker style. It's hard to get these ones with the curved bills.
Oh,
because all the kids wear trucker hats, and it's like, no, I need a curved bill.
Yeah, the mesh hats I don't care for.
If I want to go back to my baseball days, I'll have the curve be like this.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You remember that? When the bills were super narrow?
Oh, yeah. I always had mine like that, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get as much curve as you can get on, but it always seems to want to straighten out after like 3 months.
It does. Yeah, you got to keep rubber banding it.
Yeah. Same thing with your baseball glove.
Baseball glove, yeah. And then you get older and your head gets fatter and you're like, man, this is squeezing my head. I can't do this anymore. Or like you're trying to wear your glasses now because you're too old to see without glasses. And it's like, okay, this bill's in the way. I gotta fix this.
Right. So you recently just started a new film production company, correct?
No. So Small Town Productions was always the film company since 2019. It's just it was a partnership. And then when Dan retired, he retired from the company too and gave sole ownership to me. And now it's a sole proprietorship.
Okay.
So it's still the same company, still the same flavor, I guess. I still try to achieve big city quality with small town values.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a little different now.
You want to talk about your company a little bit? So just in case for those that don't know about your company, what you all do with it, where you promote it, stuff like that.
So I will, I don't know, can I add? I don't know if I can. What if I click join the chat? What does that do? Connect your YouTube account. Never mind. Okay. I'm going to put the link in our private chat here in the studio.
Okay.
And then you can do with that what you will.
Okay.
So Small Town Productions is a veteran owned, because I'm a veteran, small production company where you can hire me to do a lot of things, especially in the paranormal. I prefer filming. I prefer filming, running the camera, doing lights for interviews, conducting interviews, all that stuff I love. If you make me edit, I don't like to edit. I hate editing. And I'm going to charge you a lot because if I have to grit through this, I'm going to make it worth my time. I don't like it. So, but for filming and stuff, I'm actually not too bad. A lot of people say that I probably charge a little bit too little, less than I should, but I love it. I love filming, especially the paranormal. So.
Oh shit. Sorry. What did I do?
What? I still see you.
I messed up here for a second.
Oh, I'll keep talking. So, Small Town Productions, I do a lot of different things. So for one, Expedition Entity, that's kind of the big name show that we did. And the big thing was our Broadhead Manor episode for Paraflix. It's free to watch if you are interested in watching it. You can check that out. And that episode won us a Telly Award. And that Telly Award, there was only two other paranormal winners. One was The Curse of Lizzie Borden, which was a fantastic documentary. And the other was season 11 of A Haunting. So if you put us next to those two, like that's an honor.
Yeah. A Haunting's been around for a long time.
A long time. And that was a great season. And then The Curse of Lizzie Borden, like that was a great doc. They did a fantastic job with that. So to be able to say that we're up there too, that's great. But because it's also just me now, I get to do all my other projects under Small Town Productions. So I have a graduating student narrative that I did in April called 3B. It's a short thriller. That is produced by Small Town Productions. The doc that I did 2 years ago with Miranda Young, which I still have to edit, and I hate editing, but every time a paid project comes up, I have to put it on the back burner so I can do the paid project first. That's in the works. It's called Haunted or Not, Bloods Point Cemetery. And then now we have the Rough Sands, the Sands of the Rough House. So that'll be another thing that falls under Small Town. But it's not only like paranormal docs and stuff. I also do other things. I do like podcast intros and outros. I'm actually just updating Jenny Davis's podcast for Unturned Pages.
Okay.
They had a few changes on where the show is going, so they wanted to remove a couple logos, and then I'm updating the pictures to include pictures from the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash.
Oh,
Because
okay.
her co-host Russ Stiver shaved his head for money for the Shaylee Clay's found the cancer thing they did fundraiser.
Right.
He shaved his head and waxed his legs to raise money
Jeez.
for that. Those pictures are now in the intro to the show and the outro to the show. Because it was cool though.
It just hurt thinking about that.
Yeah, I can only imagine. But so yeah, I do stuff like that, or I did Sounds of Spirits with ACG Paranormal's Nat and Elliot Slavic. That I was just the cinematographer and lighting and sound, and kind of a producer, kind of a consultant for editing, but I didn't do the editing. All the editing was all Nat.
Okay.
But I had a lot of hands on that one. That one, I think she did a fantastic job on the editing. So, kudos to her. And all this is on my website, by the way. And then I've done little, fun videos. Like I did an underwater GoPro test video when I was in Florida, swimming with the manatees. I'm like, this GoPro will go underwater. Look, there's a manatee. It's just fun stuff like that, and I got a lot of really cool things, a lot of things that I enjoy doing. So now that it's just me, I'm looking to expand and do more things to add to my portfolio, and Neil gave me this great opportunity, and I think we're gonna knock it out of the park.
That'd be cool.
And then the new horror, and then I've had 3 other people reach out to me for docs. Some of those I'm having meetings for soon.
Okay.
Others, they're still like, hey, how much is this going to cost? And then you throw them an estimate. Like, just from what you've told me, I think it might cost somewhere around this. And then they don't message you anymore. So I'm going to guess that one's off the table.
Well, I mean, there's lots that go into doing all that stuff, what you do, and people don't realize how much equipment costs, the time that you put into it, and all that stuff.
Well, not only that, but like most people rent their equipment. And if you were to do that for what I own, you'd be renting for several $100s a day just for the equipment. Several hundred. And if you needed more than one camera for like an interview, you should have 2 cameras. That's several hundred per camera. And then lights, several hundred. Audio, several hundred. If you needed like a gimbal system for your night vision cameras, several hundred. And all of a sudden it turns into, thousands a day just to rent equipment. Or I already own it. You just pay me the rental fee, and then I bring all my stuff with me. So, and I take the brunt of the cost, and then I factor in the insurance that I pay into my cost, which is what they do too, but you're getting hit on every single item's insurance. Whereas with me, you're just hit on me and everything I have one time.
Yeah.
So, but it adds up.
Yeah, it does.
The one thing you'd be surprised what costs the most. Can you take a guess?
Lighting.
Nope. I'll give you one more.
Microphones.
No, the most expensive thing that you're going to find on a film set, most of the time, is going to be craft services.
Oh, well, that does make sense.
Right. Unless you have some actor that's like, I need $30,000, then obviously your actor is going to be the most expensive. But when you're doing stuff like paranormal for docs and stuff like that, and especially if you're going to be there all night and you're having, like a film session for 10 hours, you have to feed people several times throughout that 10 hours. You have to provide drinks for them. You have to do this, you have to do that. And they have to snack as much as they can because people that are hungry don't perform well on camera.
I don't even want to imagine what you do.
So all of a sudden you're like, okay, so we need to have lunch in 2 hours or dinner or whatever. And where am I going to get that food? How much is it going to cost? How many people do I have? Well, cast and crew, there's about 15 people. Okay. I need to feed 15 people 3 times today. And snacks and water and if you're outside, Gatorade, all the stuff that you should have, to be an ethically good production. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, for the 3 days we're filming here, it's going to be $5,000 worth of food.
Oh, Jesus.
I just need Ghost, Twizzlers. I'm going to hold you to that.
Dilly bars for everybody. There you go. Done.
So the best thing to do, especially if you're outside filming, like during the day, is you go to like Walmart or Costco and you get those clear tube popsicles.
Mm-hmm.
You can get 50 of them for like what, $3? And no one ever says no. They're just like, I'll take 2. Like, here you go. I have 150 of these. I spent $9 on them. Yeah, people love them. So yeah, craft services is a lot of money. Unless you're crafty, get it, and you can get sponsorship and deals with people. Be like, hey, if you give us, this for free, we'll mention you in the credits. Catering provided by, and some companies, some restaurants like that, and they'll do it.
Right.
But you'd be surprised. Not enough do. I've tried a lot, but I'm gonna keep trying.
On set, God damn it, give me that popsicle I want.
I need a popsicle stat, and it has to be grape. My contract writer says I only eat grape popsicles.
Oh man.
I'm very fortunate to have come across no contract writers that were ridiculous yet.
Hey, I need a ship break. Bye.
Yeah, well, yeah. So even though there wasn't like a contract writer, Dan had to take water pills because he has kidney stones. He had a lot of kidney stones. So, we had to plan around the fact that he probably had to take a break every 2 or 3 hours. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to do it. Or we had to make sure that he had food because he's diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to have things that he can last on all night and not sugar crash.
Right.
Full M&Ms with the red ones removed. Absolutely. And look, there's another one. 134 green M&Ms only. Count them twice.
That's a damn big bag, Cat.
Cat, for you, I'm gonna get 135 and give you the bonus for free. So, fun fact about that: you can contact M&M, which I think is the Mars company, and ask for a single colored bag, and they will ship you a single colored bag because they're just in tubes, and they
I suppose that makes sense.
Fill into the bags themselves, so they just fill a bag with the one tube. So brownies. So for the production of my student film, my producer, who's also the professor I worked with at the university when I taught film, he is a fantastic cook. I hate marshmallows. I don't like Rice Krispies. I ate 3 of his Rice Krispies when he had them and he made them himself. Like the dude is a wizard. He made brownies and cookies and Rice Krispies and all this other great, amazing, snacky stuff. And it's just like, oh, this film set's amazing. But I'll tell you what, we had 4 12 to 16-hour film days, and not a single person complained.
That's crazy.
Because they were well fed, had as much as they wanted to drink, had plenty of opportunity to get snacks, to get drinks. There are people whose job was dedicated to walk around with a tray going, would you like a banana chip? Would you like a water? Would you like, that was their job. And, oh yeah, it was great. I have to make cinnamon brownies. Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
Go on. Go on. Hello there.
This
cinnamon
is
brownies sold.
Oh man, you're gonna be getting all sorts of shit now.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Just don't make cake because I don't like cake.
Really?
I
That's
do not
surprising.
like cake.
My son is the same way.
I eat cheesecake because that's technically not cake. The sponge cakey stuff, I
Yeah.
don't like it. The only sponge cake I will eat is like a strawberry shortcake. But that's usually because that strawberry syrup's kind of in the sponge cake and doesn't really taste like bad sponge cake. But birthday cakes, I won't eat it. I just don't like it. I don't like ice cream cake either because the sponge cake is frozen and rock hard.
Yeah.
Blech. Can't do it. Can't do it.
We had brownies today at work because a buddy of mine, he's got his 40 years in at work.
Oh, geez.
And he retires in October.
Okay.
And I had one. He goes, have another. I said, dude,
eat another one.
I said, what are you trying to do? Make me shit? and of course,
yes. I'm real sad that I did not get those cookies at the last event we were at, Ed. We're gonna have to remember that the next time we meet. Cookies and cheesecake, brownies, like I'll crush those. Carrot cake, it's really dense and smothered in cream cheese frosting. So
I'm not a carrot cake person.
That sounds similar to my pumpkin bars, which technically is a cake, but it's also really dense and covered in cream cheese frosting. I call them pumpkin bars so I can get away with the fact that I'm not eating cake. So I imagine it's something similar to that. So, but I also don't like carrot cake very much. It had to be like really smothered with cream cheese to get rid of the carrot taste. But I would eat a carrot cake piece before a birthday cake piece. So this is like funny. The best paranormal discussion ever. We're just talking about food. Just a bunch of fat guys from the Midwest talking about cake.
Hey, let's add some brats there. Get some beer brats, and
I can't. I'm allergic to the something in the curing salts of pork. I cannot eat pork unless it's uncured.
Wow.
So all of my brats are turkey brats. And let me tell you, turkey brats are delicious. They're good.
You kill it for me, man. You kill it.
I know. Ginger snaps. Those are okay. Vegetables don't belong in desserts.
See, now when someone gets a Hawaiian pizza, I'm staring. I'm like, how the hell can you eat that? Pineapple.
I eat that.
Oh my god.
I eat that.
I can't.
Why not?
I just can't.
Why not?
Pineapple and pizza together, just.
What about it though?
Just can't. I can't bring myself to eat a piece.
Is it because pineapple's a fruit?
Yes.
Tomatoes are fruit.
Yeah.
Is that Taryn?
Yes. Hey, Taryn.
Oh, there it is. Oh, one more. There she is. No, you missed it.
She's going fast. I can't keep up with her.
I can say the same thing. Trying to keep up with her in Gettysburg was like, there she is, there she goes. And there she goes. Like, get over here and give me my damn hug. And there she goes again.
Yeah, she's always off to the races at those places. She loves that place. My gosh.
She killed it.
She would she'd love to live there. I know she would.
So yeah, I had such a good time when I went to Gettysburg. For one, it was supposed to be an adventure that I was taking with somebody else, which we talked about that before the show started. And it at the last minute turned into a solo adventure. So I made the best of it. I documented every step of my adventure. I live streamed twice on the drive out before it got dark. And then when I hit Pennsylvania, like all the reception was gone. So I guess we're done with live streaming. And then,
Terry, you got to work on that.
Yeah, give me some cell phone bars if you can. Put some towers up. And then throughout the weekend, I'm just taking hundreds of pics and videos and then just documenting the entire process. And then on the drive home, I did the same thing. I live streamed. And then the very final post I made for Gettysburg was a picture of my car in front of my driveway. And that wrapped up my story. So took some great pics. Had such a great time. Larry was awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm awesome. Sometimes
Welcome
I'm
to
just
Pennsylvania.
Really
yeah.
Yeah.
See, I haven't been there. I have not been on that side of the country yet.
I'm making my return for next year. I've already got it set up.
Nice.
So I've already contacted the hotel. They're gonna get me hooked up, and it's gonna be great.
Very
It's
nice.
gonna be just fantastic. So I had so much fun. I can't wait to go back.
Oh yeah, and while you're out there, you gotta get a hold of a lot of other people on the East Coast for filming.
So my plan is for next year, as I'm going out there early. This year, I went out. What was it? I think Thursday morning I left, or Thursday at noon. I had to work. I had a high school film camp that day, and I worked from 8 until noon, and then left from noon until like, what was it, 1 a.m. because it takes a crazy amount of time for me to get there. More for you, I'm sure. And basically got to the hotel, dumped off my stuff, and went right to sleep. This time I'm going a couple days early so that I can actually like explore the history and not just squeeze it in at the end of the conference between events. Like I have an hour before I have to be back for this event. Let's go to Little Round Top and then get stuck at the top when it got dark and then have to do a live stream down so that if I fell, they could find my body and they would know where it's at. That is the thing that happened. So I get reminded of that numerous times. Like, remember that time you were on that mountain and you kept pointing at your feet going, look how slippery this is. If I die, this is the marker, this giant boulder here. Come find this boulder.
Oh, that's funny.
There she is. Yeah, Little Round Top. That was awesome. My very first time. The view was just incredible.
Did you get to investigate at night at all?
I did. I went to a location with the guys from Old World Paranormal Podcast. Nick and Sean and a couple other people. Brooke from Wildwood was there. And then a couple others I'm drawing blanks on. It was dark. I couldn't see them. That's my excuse. But investigated with Nick and Sean, and unfortunately Bree wasn't feeling well, so she had to sit back. But we got a lot of really cool things. We were over by some cannons, and we had a REM device that Nick had bought from Pam and Steve, I believe. And out in the field where the battle was, a cav field, we put the string lights up, the 36-foot. So we'd be just kind of sitting there talking, and all of a sudden the light would go off over here on the string lights, and we're like, oh wow, it wasn't like all of them or one of them. It was like alternating every other one. It's like, well, that was weird. So
kind of looked like a runway.
Kinda. And we're all turning this way, looking at the lights, and all of a sudden behind us, you hear the REM pod went off. So we all turn back to look at the REM pod, and then someone goes, "Hey, the string light which went off again behind us," and we're like, and then it goes off behind us. It's like, all right, guys, that's enough. Come on. They're totally messing with us.
That's funny.
I had a really great time. I so look forward to next year. I've had a couple people tell me like, "Hey, did you do okay?" Because I wasn't in the main room this year. I was in the hallway. But I'm going to tell you what, I actually had a really good location. The hallway was a fantastic spot, and for two reasons. Number one, when you're in the main room, it is freaking loud.
Oh, I bet.
It is. Everyone's talking, and people have music and stuff for their booth, whatever. And then it just becomes that dull roar. In the hallway, it's quiet. And you can actually have a conversation with people at your booth without having to shout at them.
Right.
That was really nice. And also, as a part of my booth, I have my giant big screen TV that plays episodes of Expedition Entity and the other project that I'm working on. People can actually sit and listen to the evidence and hear the evidence. When I'm in the big main room, I have to bring these giant headphones. That's the only way you're going to hear stuff.
Right.
And that sucks.
Yeah, unless they're comfortable headphones.
Well, and then I have to figure out how to do multiples in case multiple people want to watch. In the hallway, just the TV. Speakers were fine.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then also where I was is a traffic area. You have to walk past me to get to the main room. So
That's the
everyone
best
was
way to
walking
do
past,
it.
and they'd be like, "Oh, well, look at this. Hold on, come back. We got to go look at this." And then you end up with a lot of traffic.
That's
So
good though. That's
I
good.
was in a fantastic spot. Pam and Steve were real easy to work with to make adjustments to where I was at, and I'm so looking forward to going back again next year. So anyone that is like, maybe I'll do Gettysburg next year, go to Gettysburg next year. Just do it. It's gonna be great.
Very nice. Very nice.
Also, if you're looking for an event to go to this weekend, go to Michigan Paracon because it's the last one, and I'm also going to be there.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna miss out on that one because I gotta work.
yeah, it's tough. It's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday event, so it's like you have to
Yeah.
take off 2 work days.
Yeah, that'd kill me because then I'll be on 10 hours for like 2 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to stay on my 8 hours.
Sure. You know, and that's my benefit. You know, like I don't have to worry about that. I edit video, I film stuff, I write books, I do presentations. So if I need to take a Thursday, Friday off, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'll just make the work up next week during the week.
Right. Right.
So
And you're also a graduate now, aren't you?
I am. In May, I graduated with my master's in arts in communication studies, where my focus was on visual rhetoric, which basically means how to communicate through things like documentaries and graphics. So we did a lot of documentary production, studio production for commercials and news broadcasts. A lot of in the field production for like little short tiny narratives and whatnot, and then my big narrative, my 12-minute film is how I ended my year as my graduation film. So yeah, it is done. It's because of COVID, it turned into 6.5 years of school instead of 6. But yeah, I wouldn't change it because I learned so much about film there. Thank you, Michael. I learned so much about film there that I'm now bringing to the paranormal.
Which is good. I mean, we'd like to see lots of different versatility in that.
Right. And just go to YouTube. So many of these people in the paranormal on YouTube are just, they're horrible. Hold the freaking camera still. Just let the camera do its thing. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing workshops on film and applying it to the paranormal. And saying, listen, if you want to take yourself from YouTube and you want to go into a network, like let's say Paraflix or Beacon, the brand new network that just popped up from Shane Pittman and Josh, you need to have production skills. You need to know how to make a film. Come to my workshop. Everything that I taught the undergrads at Northern Illinois University, you're getting a crash course in a lot of it. And you'll learn proper techniques for holding the camera and when to not do something handheld, which is most of the time. If you absolutely want to do something handheld, you have to rig it the right way to where it doesn't look like this the entire time,
But don't you want to get people sick?
No, because I get sick when I watch that stuff and I immediately turn it off.
So you're not the Blair Witch kind.
So that's a narrative, though. That's
Yeah.
a narrative, and that's a creative choice.
Yeah.
So that's a little different.
Right.
But if you notice on the Blair Witch, there was some camera movement, but a lot of their camera movement wasn't that bad because
Says
they were
who?
film students.
Says who?
True. Well, I didn't say it was good. I said it wasn't that bad. It wasn't
That's
that bad.
funny. That's funny. Well, and then you got was it Paranormal Activity?
So that one had like the lowest budget of all time for a movie that made that much money. The original budget for the feature length film was like 15,000 or something like that. And then after it reached distribution, they added, I think it was it's like 200,000 or 250,000 in post production. So editing and all that kind of stuff, and then marketing and then distribution costs, and that's all post production. And then it still made millions and millions and millions of dollars. Off of an original budget of 15,000.
Jeez, it's crazy.
Right. Right. The actors got next to nothing. They got the house for free. They basically had to pay for food, and it was only the handful of the people. And that was they did all the work. The cameras were all handheld or stationary because it was a security camera. So like it's minimal, and that's why Paranormal Activity and the Blair Witch started a genre of film because of how easy it is and how cheap it is and how many people loved it. So I'm actually not doing Broadhead the movie, but my movie is going to be at Broadhead. So I was just talking to Bill yesterday about it. So we will be filming at Broadhead. It'll be a narrative. It'll be a short narrative, and it will be a horror, and it'll be a little gory, just a tiny bit. Nothing too graphic. Like it'll be like in the background of a scene. But
whatever do a press release, let me know. We'll get you on.
Absolutely.
So, let's see, getting close to the top of the hour here.
So can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Why is the show called the Paranormal Question of the Day? So what's the question of the day?
So Paranormal Question of the Day started out where I just started asking like a random one question at each episode. And, I first started on YouTube and I just put the question up there. See if I get any responses. Nothing really got answered till later on. And then as I started to really show myself on video more to ask the questions and stuff like that, that's when Taryn kind of saw me doing it and said, no one's been doing it that way. So ever since then, yeah, right. So ever since then,
I believe Wes is also the gentleman that had his head shaved in Gettysburg too.
Oh,
so
okay.
He went super shiny as well.
It's easy for me.
Well, Dave Schrader did it too, and he goes to sit down, and I'm like, "You're gonna have to shave his beard. That's the most hair he's got." And then they shaved his goatee off.
Oh.
And then a week later, it was back. But
yeah. But yeah, so Paranormal Question Day, that's just kind of how it started, and it just kind of stuck. So I figured, well, you know what, it's a good title for a show, and I just left it.
Cool. Well, what's my question of the day then?
So, Larry, are you going to start investigating more different locations now that you're on your own, or it's all going to be strictly film?
So, don't get me wrong, I love the paranormal, and I really enjoy investigating. And if I could just do that and keep paying my bills, I'd love to do that.
Yep.
But I love film. I love being behind the camera. I love setting up the shoot and interviews and all the fun stuff about film. That's where my passion is. So, am I going to do my own show where I'm in front of the camera investigating? Absolutely, I will. I'm going to do that, and I will be the lead of the show. But if you give me a situation like Neil is, where I'm filming something for him and I'm not in front of it, everybody else is, I'm all for that. I don't need to investigate every location. I was there and I have stories to share because I was there. Like for example, we were filming the initial investigation with Neil and Diet at the Rough House, and I'm just on my camera ring like this and doing the things I have to do to follow them around. And in the basement, it's not built for someone my height. It is a low ceiling, but my camera arm extends like 6 inches above my head and then comes out like this. So I'm like ducking down and crab walking, and then finally they get me a chair to sit on, and I just kind of plop into the chair and adjust the camera. While they're investigating, something pinched my elbow. And on the camera, you can see the camera go like that, because what the hell was that? And it's like, was that on camera? No, it's behind the camera. And then they came over to look at my elbow and be like, yeah, you got a bruise there. That's all behind the camera, but it's still the fact that I got this really cool story to tell, and I still got to do the thing that I was passionate about in making the film.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I doing more investigations? Yes and no. I'm trying to sign up for more events that allow me to investigate instead of just talk. So,
Yeah.
for example, I'm doing Old Baraboo Inn in
Okay.
October, I think 14th. I'm doing the investigations there. I've never been to Old Baraboo before. I'm ecstatic.
Oh,
I can't wait. So,
yeah, you get to meet Nikki Wilson there.
well, again, last time I saw her, I think was Rock Island Paracon.
Okay.
So, I don't know. You have to ask Neil that, Ed. I don't know. Oh, I think you're in the basement of the courthouse. That's for the other side of the event during the day, but double check with Neil. So yeah, I'm doing a lot of that, and then like there's days where I'm doing nothing. I'm waiting for the beta readers to get back from my book. I'm waiting for a meeting for a client, or I just don't feel like editing today because I don't like it. So what I'm gonna do is I have this stack of old newspapers where people talk about haunted locations and stuff like that, especially for like October and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'll go through and I'll flip through and be like, that one sounds fun. And then I'll just go to that spot today and do a little live stream and maybe use the SB7 a little bit. I did that, I think in July was the last one. And me and Paige went to the location of the Brown's Chicken Massacre, which is only about 45 minutes away from me. I think 2 employees came to a Brown's Chicken and shot it all up and then robbed it.
Jeez.
And they were caught because a sandwich had a bite taken out of it, and they froze it and preserved it for so long until they could match the DNA on the sandwich. So that's how they got caught.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Unfortunately, the building was tore down and they built a bank on top of it. And you can't investigate in a bank. They don't like that. So we
Right.
just sat in the parking lot and then did video in the parking lot. And we still had some interesting responses. Some cool things came across, but I might need to do a revisit one day to be like, hey, can we talk now? Can you give me more than what you gave me last time?
Right.
I like doing that stuff.
Yeah,
Things where
that's fun.
it's just good for Facebook. It's a live stream. I get to talk to people.
Mhm.
People will be like, hey, I heard this at this time. You should go back and listen to that. Cool.
Mhm.
Let's do that. So they were caught. Yes, that was also a big part of it. That was the initial part, was the girlfriend when one of the guys and her broke up. She ratted them out.
Hmm.
Yep. And then
Interesting.
that sandwich, which is what I read. You can never take what you read on the internet as gospel. You got to always have a grain of salt with it.
Yeah, is it an actual sandwich or a sandwich bitten into?
It was a chicken sandwich that was bitten into. So that was what I read. But yeah, so like I'm trying to get more events in, like Gettysburg and Michigan, and stuff like that, because I'm trying to sell my books. I'm trying to interest people in the shows that I'm working on, the docs that I'm working on. But for 2025, I'm really trying to add investigation events to where all I have to do is show up and do what I like doing, investigating, and just kind of letting my style come out
There you go.
a little bit more, which is more conversational. I'm more of a conversational investigator. So, you're not going to get those questions where it's like, who's the president right now? Can you tell me what town we're in? No. So let me ask you, when you were alive, did you like milk? Like, I don't really care for milk very much. Did you like milk? Like, what was your favorite drink?
Yeah.
What was your favorite beer? Do you like ales? Do you like mead? And you'd be surprised how many ghosts are going to talk about food.
Oh yeah.
They talk about food.
Oh yeah, they do.
That's how you know they're human, because they're like, food? I'll talk about food. Let's talk about pies and cakes and brownies again.
I'll be careful with that one because you might not be sure if to say, "Well, I stuck it there."
Right.
A little American Pie there. Remember, the apple was warm. Well, this fantastic interview, Larry, and great for you to come on. I'm glad we got to talk beforehand.
Yeah, I had a good time. It's always a great show, talking and hanging out with you for a little bit. So,
absolutely. And like I said, just let me know when you're ready to come back on for some more stuff that you want to promote. We can do that.
Yeah,
and
like I said, I've got some meetings lined up to where I've got a pretty good idea what this concept's going to be, and once I can get the equipment, I'm just going to start hitting it,
there you
and
go.
Magic's going to happen. And when it does, then it's going to be like, hey, we need to start talking about this show that I made so people can see it and then figure out where it's going to go.
Absolutely. So you want to let the fine folks in the chat room know where they can get a hold of you when they want to get a hold of you?
And sure. I'm primarily on Facebook, Larry Eissler III. I've got the blue check mark, so you can't confuse me with anybody else. That's where 95% of my stuff is. I have auto posting to Instagram, so you can still follow on Instagram. It's just I'm not directly on Instagram enough. I had a Twitter, got rid of it. I just don't care. I had a TikTok, don't care. OnlyFans, I wasn't making enough money, so I got rid of that. Patreon, got rid of that. It's just me on Facebook now. So, hey. So yeah, that's the best spot. And then from there, you can find my website link where you can see, all the stuff that I brought up earlier. The like Jenny's podcast intro and outro. That's on the website under the content section. I have my media kit on there to where you can go and you can see like my bio and my book descriptions, the topics that I'm talking about at conferences, the links to my things, and then like my appearances, what I've been doing since 2018 when I started my very first appearance, and whatnot. So, and you'd be surprised for like a podcast how easy it is to just be like, hey, can you send me a picture and a bio? Media kit.
Yep. There you go.
You can pick whatever picture you want.
Yep. It didn't take me long to pick one.
No, and when you click on them, they're full sized. There's no compressed pictures. You get the full sized picture that you need. So, and I hate that when people will save like a Facebook picture, and then when they try to use it, it's all blurry and pixelated because Facebook compresses the crap out of everything.
Yes, it does.
You got to have the originals. So, yeah, Facebook, the website there, and then just I randomly go live and hang out for a little bit, especially on long drives. I have random investigations. If you see me at an event, I probably will not remember you. I have a memory issue, so it takes me a while to match names and faces. I can recognize faces, but it's the names. I'm just like, shit. So come up to me, come say hi, give me a hug, give me a handshake, and just be like, hey, it's Ed Levin on Facebook. Do you remember? Like, oh my God, Ed, I'm so sorry.
Or the blind guy here.
Well, Ed did that to me one time. I was next to him. I thought he totally realized it was me, but I wasn't wearing a hat.
Oh yeah. And I think you weren't wearing a hat at Broadhead when I was there last year.
Sometimes I don't. I was at Gettysburg, and one of the days I didn't have a hat on because I have psoriasis, and when it's snowing, you wear a hat. It's better that way. Otherwise, I'm doing this all day long, and some days are better days than others. Yep. So the days that I get away with not wearing a hat, I'm gonna not wear a hat.
Well, I suppose, yeah. You got that hair.
Right.
Well, I don't have any hair.
People think that I'm bald. I'm not bald. I have a lot of hair.
Yeah.
I just have to wear hats all the time. So yeah. Now when I'm around Ed, I'll wear the Spire hat. So he'll be like, oh, it's him. That's right. Now my headphones aren't sitting right because I messed them up.
Yeah, I get the same way.
Yeah, everything's all weird now. So yeah, come find me on Facebook. I also have a Small Town Productions Facebook page, but kind of like Instagram, I just share stuff to it. I don't do much with it on its own. Everything's really funneled through my main Facebook account. Okay. So, and Kat, I will remember you, I promise. Even though you cut your hair.
She's gonna hook you up with Bobby Thomas. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that she said that. So,
Yep.
But yeah. So, Kat, I promise I will do my best to recognize you, but you cut your hair, so no promises. even though I just promised.
So before the show goes, I always like to have my guest give a special message to our audience in the chat. There, just one of those nice chats that you'll remember for a week or two. So, fire away.
Like, can you give me like a lead in? Like, what kind of special message?
So basically, it's like advice or stuff
okay.
about the paranormal field or
Okay.
filming. It could be about filming too. I mean, just advice for those who are wanting to do the stuff that you're doing and what you do. Shoot them a message.
I don't have it handy. Dang. Okay. So I'm gonna say this. So people on Facebook and Instagram and don't eat yellow snow, yes. When you're doing your live streams and stuff with your phone, obviously, yes, Facebook now mandates we have to hold our phone vertically. You can't turn it. It'll yell at you. That's great because people used to do that and it drove me nuts because this doesn't turn into this. It just turns into this sideways. Don't do that. So start vertical, stay vertical. 2, if you're behind the phone, behind the camera, you can't speak at a normal volume because you're screaming to the audience because you're really close to the mic. Just like if you're 10 feet in front of the camera, you're 10 feet away from the microphone, they can't hear you. So if you're facing away and you're just like, I thought I heard something, no one heard that because you're facing away from the camera. The best thing that you can do is there's a lot of wireless microphones. The ones that I use, it's called the DJI mic. They have a mic too now. They're wireless mics that stream amazing quality audio. I use these for my productions. They're so good. They last for a whole day, no problem. But they have adapters that plug into both phones, Apple or Samsung or whatever, Android. And it's streamless. It sounds great. You can watch the audio bars right there from the phone, so you can tell if somebody's being too quiet or too loud. And then they also have internal recording.
Yes.
To where if you want to record somebody's audio internally and then go back and listen because they were 10 feet away from you and they heard something over by them, it'll record into that microphone a lot better than it'll record into the wireless system. You can adjust it more. You have more options.
32-bit float.
32-bit float. So, those lower things will come up a little bit better. So that's my recommendation is even if you're just doing this, not even for YouTube, not for production, if you're just screwing around on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live, and you want to be taken serious doing it, you have to equip yourself with the right equipment. You can't walk into an investigation with a 720p camcorder from Amazon and expect to get great video. And then you can't expect people to watch that and be like, wow, that looks so amazing, because it doesn't. Bring some quality into what you're trying to do. And then the best way to do that is going to be with audio, because Facebook's going to compress the crap out of your video anyway. They're going to turn your 4K video into 720 and it's going to suck, but at least your audio sounds good.
Or they might mute you.
Well, that's a thing too. You got to be careful
Copyright
with that.
crap.
Yeah, especially if like a car goes past and they're playing a song, like that whole 10 seconds with the car, you can get muted just because they're playing the song.
Yeah.
Facebook doesn't care. So, and then on top of that, don't eat yellow snow.
Right.
Yeah.
So with that, I thank you, Larry, Mr. Eissler III, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight for tonight's live show. I'll be back in 2 weeks with a guest. I haven't decided who I'm going to have on just yet. Small Town Paranormal, welcome.
Fun fact, when I got started in the paranormal, Dan's team was called Small Town Paranormal. And that's why when we made our production company, we called it Small Town Productions.
Wow.
As a throwback to when we first got together and started investigating. So, sorry, continue.
Anyhow, thank you guys for joining us tonight. And I'll be back in 2 weeks with another guest. I haven't decided who will be on, so keep a lookout for that. And make sure you're following us on Paranormal Brew and BB3 TV Networks on Facebook. And if you're not on Facebook, join us on MGS Paranormal on YouTube. So with that, he's Larry, I'm Darren, and I bid you adieu. So long, everybody.